Hey, so you want to hire somebody here at First Burleson. Well, hey, that's exciting because we want to add to our staff. You know, we have one of the most amazing staffs that I've ever served on, and we want to keep it that way. We've created a healthy staff culture here that's beyond most churches that I've ever been associated with, and I know you feel the same way. So let's do it right. So I want to introduce to you the 7 things you need to know about hiring people the right way. Yeah, we have a little brochure and it tells a story about how to hire somebody here at First Burleson. So one of our goals is that we want to have a process. We want to bring or onboard people in a way that would put a smile on their face. All right, we don't want this long and cumbersome procedure, yet we don't want something so short that they don't feel valued and say, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing. So the 7 things you need to know about hiring people the right way is something we're going to introduce and that we want all staff to adhere by and to use as our guidelines. All right, so I'm going to walk you through this real briefly, kind of give you a summary, and at the end we'll give you a link where you can have this brochure, keep it in your office, and everybody will be on the same page. So there's 7 steps, obviously the 7 things, but there's 6 steps is an onboarding process. The 7th step we can talk about later, and that's when somebody leaves our staff and it gives you the list of the items and the things that you need to do to offboard somebody off of our staff the right way. So there's a right way to do that. So let's talk about the 6 steps. Step number 1 is the initial interview. And so you want to have an interview with somebody, you may make a phone call, schedule them to be here and meet them. And just that's a time for you to talk about the core values of our church, what we're all about. Show them our life piece. That's our strategy of what we're all about here and what we're going to do about our mission and vision. Those are great things to share with a new candidate. And then also get to know them. Ask them some questions, why they want to work here, how did they find out about us, what do they know about First Burleson. And that's just a general time to meet them. So if you feel really good about that candidate and you want to move forward with them, then we're going to give them a skills assessment test that they can take. And then the step 2 is for us to do our second group interview, and that's where you're going to bring others in your area around them for them to meet. And also, Christopher Cass, our executive pastor, should be in on that meeting. He's a great interviewer. He asks questions that really prod and help you understand this person. And so invite Christopher to that meeting and have a group interview. Review the skills assessment test. You're already excited about that and make sure that's a fit. And then if you still feel good about this candidate, then you obviously want to move forward and get them hired on. So let's talk about step number 3 is the approval process. So obviously in a church our size, our executive pastor, Christopher, is the one that approves all hiring. You need to run them through them. He was in on the group interview, hopefully, so he'll be on board with that person and can even share with you some insight, yes or no, that this person is the right fit into our culture. So step 3 is just the approval process. Get them approved and make sure that they're ready to go. All right, step 4 and 5 and 6 really are the hiring process. So we made a few changes here, and I want to share a little bit about that. So once they have done the 2 group interviews, they've been approved by Christopher, then we want to get them the onboarding, start the onboarding process. And so that first step is going to be initiated by Christopher. He's going to create an offer letter. And in that offer letter, it's just going to give them the benefits, hey, we would like to hire you, here's our compensation, here's everything that we're offering you, and that offer letter needs to be accepted by the candidate or the new hire. And then we're going to start the process, obviously, of the background check that we require for all employees, a ministry safe training that we require for all employees, and make sure that those get initiated and started and ready to go. Now, I'm going to take care of the onboarding process as far as the new hire packet. We've changed that up a little bit, and so here's what we're going to do is I'll handle that for you as the business administrator. And if you'll just send that candidate to me and say, you need to go see Rick, he's got all the paperwork, I'm going to sit down with them and show them how to fill out the forms correctly, what all we need, what copies we need, driver's license, social security card, whatever. And then I'm going to carry them through that whole process to make sure it all gets completed. And then as you, the supervisor who's doing the hiring, they will sign off to that. Christopher will sign off to it as the executive pastor. Now I have the paperwork in its entirety, and I can submit that to Denise, who's going to create them in our system for payroll. Now, that's the trigger right there. You're going to ask the question, when can this person start? I'm excited. That's the trigger for somebody to start here. Nobody can work, clock in hours, or do anything until the paperwork has been submitted and approved, and it's in our system and it's ready to go. Now, that's going to take 3 to 5 days, I would say, for us to do that. In fact, just use a general 5 days for that process to take place, but then we can start them and get them done. So now they're in our system, they're on board, ready to go. So the next 2 steps, 5 and 6, are going to be the welcome time. That's a quick step, but we're going to welcome them either during collaboration time, all staff lunch, all staff meeting, somewhere we want to get them welcomed in there. And then we're going to also make a social media announcement on Facebook, Instagram, wherever we use, to let our church know, hey, we've just hired a new employee and they need to get to know them. So step number 6 is the orientation time. They're going to get orientated with some training. We're going to give them the things that they need. Our goal is the first week of employment that they get keys, computers, office, key fob, everything they need to actually function and show up here and be a great employee. So it would be great if we could do that the first day they were here. Wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody starts their first day and you go, hey, I've got all this stuff ready for you. But we're going to allow a week for that to be done. And then in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to put them on our web page. We're going to add them as a staff member, and we're going to continue to promote them in our services. So that's the great process that we've come up with. It's called the 7 things you need to know. And if we'll all follow those, we're going to have a process that will get people orientated, where they'll have a smile on their face, and it's going to be a great time. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll get this brochure in your hands and let you walk through that together as a staff in your area and be excited about hiring people the right way. Hey, thanks for watching.